Since everyone loved the original documentary, and a lot has happened since, I thought I would make a follow-up going over things that I have done since then. After the initial search of finding the MP3 files of the 2006 EP, I took a break for a while. I looked into other bands that had had some lost music, did some general life stuff such as moving in with my girlfriend, playing various video games, things like that. I always had a feeling that there were more While She Sleeps tracks that I hadn't found, however. I used the Wayback Machine, which is an internet archive tool, to see what the old While She Sleeps MySpace page looked like back in the day. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot that was archived. I thought I could browse through the comments and reach out to people on there. Unfortunately, that wasn't a viable option because of how broken MySpace is nowadays. I had another thought, which was to dig through some old Facebook posts of the band and reach out to people in the comments. After realising that it would take absolutely forever to scroll through over 10 years worth of posts, I went through the photo albums. The thinking being that I could find early pictures that were uploaded and reach out to people that had commented on them. These people would have known about the band early on and could quite possibly have some early songs. There were a few comments and I sent a few messages out to people. Not everyone replied, as probably not everyone used Facebook anymore, and sometimes messages don't always appear if you aren't friends beforehand. I received a message back from Johnny Marsh, who had some old tracks, Geppetto, Foaming from the Mouth and Alchemist. These were tracks that we had heard of previously from the Moshing Penguin comment section. So we spoke for a while, and I created a video guide on how the tracks could be sent over. After following the guide, Johnny sent me the tracks over email. I also received a much higher quality of We the Brave than was previously on the channel. These tracks all went up on the channel, and I would have not found these if I did not reach out in the first place. I must have sent over 60 messages to random people on Facebook, and I do apologise for that, but even if it leads to one new song being uncovered, then it's all worth it in my eyes. A few months after that, I received a comment from Wayne Calvert on the documentary. He mentioned that he has a few more songs. I found him on Facebook and got in touch. We spoke for a while about music and he sent me 2 more tracks, In Death They Will Envy Us and Security. These went up on the channel and actually got a reaction from the band.
That's it, dude. Still got it.
So that was believed to have been all the old tracks, finally uncovered and on YouTube for the first time. There is one more track, a Rihanna cover mentioned in this video.
Stay tuned because we got I Am King and the cover of Rihanna's on Facebook. Yeah, man, coming to you May 5th. But no, that's not what I'm gonna hear. We call you blood.
But it was apparently never uploaded anywhere, so I don't think I'll ever get that one. On the While She Sleeps YouTube channel, you'll find videos that are really interesting and surprisingly still available to watch. This is a part of history, and I hope they continue to stay available in the future. A few months went by, and there wasn't any particular tracks that I was looking for. Matt posted a picture of the 2006 EP on his Instagram story, showing that he still had 2 copies. After the renewed interest in these CDs, he was probably flooded with messages from fans asking to buy a copy. I know I sent a message inquiring about one. As far as I know, Matt kept them, which is perfectly fine. There are more out there, and I wouldn't feel comfortable buying a treasured CD from a band member, especially if they have memories and nostalgia relating to that CD. But this Instagram post did get me thinking, I would love to own one of those. So during the next few months, I really ramped up my While She Sleeps collection, which was helped by a Facebook group I made called Sleeps Marketplace. This was created for a few reasons. 1, to bring fans together in a little corner of the internet to buy and sell merch without having to deal with eBay or Depop fees. 2nd, to keep a closer eye on any possible sales of any rare CDs. The 2006 and 2009 CDs are, for me at least, the holy grails of While She Sleeps collecting. They're scarce, important for music history, are needed for a full collection, unique, being they're the only CDs with Jordan on vocals, and homemade by the band themselves. So I got to work in trying to acquire these rarities. I have eBay alerts set up on my phone for different bands, just to see what comes up. I check these alerts a couple times a day, and sometimes you can find things for a really good price. And then one day, I checked the While She Sleeps listings. As soon as I saw it, I started shaking. The 2009 Splits EP. I was looking for this for a long time. The seller knew what they had, and in the description it mentioned limited to 100 copies. It doesn't mention this anywhere on the disc, so they must have researched it and possibly saw part 1 of the documentary. It was up for a 7-day auction, and I really wanted it. I'll just explain quickly how eBay works for anyone who hasn't bought or sold on there. You have 2 options to buy things: bidding, which is the most common way, and you bid against other people, or a buy it now option where the price is firm and the first person to check out gets the item. This CD, as I mentioned, was up for a 7-day auction with no buy it now option. This means that it will run for 7 days and I would be bidding against other people for it. I knew that this wouldn't be good for me as other people would surely be bidding on it. There are other collectors who would be interested. So with all this running through my mind, I sent a message to the seller. Hi there, I'm a huge While She Sleeps collector and I really need this for my collection. Would you be willing to sell this for £100 buy it now? Thanks, Matt. And I waited for a reply.
Hello, Matt. Yeah, that's fine. I'll amend the listing now. Thanks very much, Phil.
So Phil updated the listing to a buy it now price of £100 and I purchased the CD that way. Phil was happy with my offer, which I have to say was a solid offer. I was happy with the price I paid and that I didn't have to bid against anyone else. Luckily no one saw it before me, or they would have done the same. A couple of days later, it arrived. I uploaded some pictures to the Vault's Instagram page, please give that a follow, and also WSS Fans, which is a fan account I also post on. Matt left a comment saying that he burnt the CD over 13 years ago in his bedroom, and he asked where I found it. I also got a comment from Matthew Conway from And White Stars saying that he was happy these CDs still exist and thanking me for what I do, which I really appreciate. 1 down, 1 to go. So finding this EP was going to be a lot harder. There were around half as many copies made as the 2009 EP. It was so early in the band's existence that there is a high chance that a lot of these have been lost, thrown away, or potentially donated to charity shops. There was always a chance it could appear on eBay, but would it be an auction, buy it now, would someone else beat me to it? I don't think this CD has ever appeared on eBay and I'm not sure it ever will. I had to think outside the box. It has gotten me this far already, what could I do to find a copy? It was Saturday afternoon, I just eaten my lunch and watched some YouTube videos and I really did not want to get out of bed. One more search for this CD wouldn't hurt, and so I did another quick search, and then I came across this post by the band Malevolence. As you can see from this post, the photo is really old and from 2006. I had a look through the comments and saw this one from Ryan Layton. Damien Layton, do you remember headlining this gig? I thought that was quite interesting, so I sent a message to both Ryan and Damien. If they headlined the gig and While She Sleeps played, and it was 2006, then there was a possibility that they knew of the CD. Possibly they may have had one. I got a message from Ryan.
Hi Matt, how's it going? Are you the guy that made the documentary about trying to find them tracks? I did watch that a few weeks ago. I saw them loads back in those days, but don't have a copy of that CD unfortunately. They played with my brother's old band Embers Burnt back then. At the time Loss was in a band called The Innocent Awaits. I'll ask the Embers Burnt guys if they have a copy for you. Not sure anyone would though. Out of interest, how did you find me on it?
We spoke for a bit about music and he mentioned the following.
Yeah, I'll see if any of those old guys have one. There's a group on here called Green Room Memories apparently. I don't really use Facebook so I'm not in it, but I'll see if I know anyone who could ask on there as well. That group will probably have most of the people who were at a lot of their early gigs in it. The documentary was really cool. I'm not sure how I came across it to be honest. Interesting story. I knew While She Sleeps would get somewhere as a band. They were always awesome live, even way back then. All those bands back in the day were amazing actually.
We spoke for a little bit more, and then I checked out this Green Room Memories group. If this is a group that has a lot of old fans of the band from the early days, it would be worth joining and making a post. I tried joining the group and was met with a few questions. What year did I start going to the green room? Name a staff or DJ member from that period, and what was your favourite song played at the green room? I wasn't quite expecting these questions, and having not even heard of the green room before, sorry guys, I went back to Ryan and asked if he knew the answers. He mentioned it closed in 2008, but wasn't sure on the other questions, so I wrote 2008 in the first box and clicked submit and waited. I wasn't really sure if the admin of the group would let me in, considering in 2008 I looked like this, and definitely had never gone to any pub before that point, and definitely not the green room, but it was worth a try. In the meantime, I received a message from Damien Layton, who had read my message and got back to me. He said he might possibly have one in his garage and he will take a look for me. We spoke about music and he said to me that he was in a band called Embers Burnt, which were a headline metalcore band in Sheffield back in the day. This was the band headlining the gig in this picture. A couple of days later he got back to me and mentioned he didn't have the CD, but he did have an old While She Sleeps shirt. I bought the shirt from Damien, and I also mentioned at this point about the Green Room Memories group. I told him I couldn't get entry, and I asked if he was in the group. He said he was, and he will make a post for me. Damien made a post in the Green Room Memories group, and a guy called Kieran Smith replied the following.
I'm positive I've got this. Was a belter of an EP. Need to have a rifle through some old CDs. We'll let you know.
Damien sent me a screenshot of this because I wasn't in the group, which got me really excited. I waited a couple of days to see if Kieran found this CD, and I got this message. After Damien told me that Kieran has the EP, I just knew I was getting closer in my search. I asked for Kieran's contact details and then I sent him a message. He told me that after he had found the CD, he had gone down a rabbit hole. He had seen my documentary about it and also followed all my Reddit posts about the CD. He then sent me some pictures. I had never seen the disc nor the back of the inlay before, so this was all new to me. I said to Kieran that I would be happy to buy it from him and that my offer was £150. This was a good offer, and if one of these was sold on eBay, I could imagine it reaching that amount quite easily, possibly higher. As an example, this Architect CD went for almost 500 quid. After I made this offer, Kieran said the following.
Mate, it was just gathering dust at my mum's house. I'd be glad for it to go to a fan. Sounds like you've been on a real journey to track it down. Let me know your address and I'll get it over to you.
I then gave him my address. I wasn't quite sure if he was saying he would send me it for free. I couldn't quite believe that. He then confirmed.
That's fine, mate. Don't want anything for it. Nice to be a part of your story. I can't get to the post office till Tuesday, so we'll send it out then. We'll make sure it's packaged right for you and send it recorded. Happy for you finally finding it.
Wow, I honestly couldn't believe it. Kieran Smith didn't want anything for the CD. I was prepared to pay quite a bit for it, but he did not want any money from me at all. What an absolute legend. The CD I was searching for a long time was just gathering dust in his mum's house. Kieran said he picked up the CD in Chesterfield in 2006 when he played on the same bill as While She Sleeps at the Springbank Centre. After a few days the CD arrived. I still can't quite believe that I am in possession of it. It hasn't quite sunk in yet. I was really taken aback by Kieran's generosity. He is still currently making music under the name Ichabod Wolf. The least I could do was order one of his CDs. I'm posting this part 2 exactly a year after part 1, which I find really awesome and a great way to close the chapter. I hope you enjoyed my tale. I'm working on collecting every single variant of every album ever released, so every record label, every barcode, and things like that. Once my While She Sleeps collection is complete, I will make a video going over each item. So thanks again for watching, and I'll leave you with a little message.
What's up everybody, Loz Taylor from While She Sleeps here. You've been watching The Vault on YouTube. Click the like button if you enjoyed and subscribe to their YouTube channel if you're new. You can also follow them on Instagram. The link is in the description. Take care and stay safe. Peace out.